Lin Rui was bullied by the school's delinquents. In an effort to protect her, I sustained severe injuries, ultimately becoming a cripple without the ability to bear children. The ruffians were sentenced to prison. Subsequently, Lin Rui ascended to fame as a new generation starlet. To my astonishment, she publicly accused me of coercing her and restricting her freedom. I was brutally slain by her fervent fans, and in my final moments, she coldly remarked, "If it weren't for you, Lu Peng would never have been imprisoned. I demand your life as compensation for my lost love." When I opened my eyes again, I found myself reborn on the very day Lin Rui was dragged into the woods by the ruffians. This time, I would observe with a detached demeanor. I would ensure that the scoundrel and the treacherous woman faced their just deserts. The narrative begins. If you appreciate it, please remember to like and follow, so you won't miss out on even better stories. It hurt. Oh, how it hurt. I jolted awake from my slumber, fear coursing through me as I instinctively touched my neck, as if the agonizing pain from the throat cutting still lingered there. Still reeling, I unconsciously retrieved my phone from beneath the pillow to check the time. It was 5 a.m. on December 25th. I had been reborn. I had returned to the pivotal day of my fate. Today, Lin Rui and I would be intercepted on our way to school by Lu Peng and his band of thugs. Lu Peng would forcibly drag Lin Rui into the woods, attempting to engage in a more intimate conversation. In my previous life, I had shielded her, facing 10 assailants alone, only to be mercilessly stabbed in the kidney by the unscrupulous Lu Peng. As I lay on the ground, bleeding profusely, he savagely broke my legs with a club. Meanwhile, Lin Rui cowered in the corner, trembling in fear and too terrified to call for help. Later, a kind-hearted classmate happened to pass by and assisted me in calling the emergency services that I was severely injured and rushed into the ICU for urgent care. At the tender age of 18, I became a limping individual deprived of the ability to bear children. Following the incident, Lu Peng, having reached adulthood, was held criminally accountable by the authorities and sentenced to a decade in prison. Meanwhile, Lin Rui, unharmed, wept in her parents' embrace. I initially believed her tears were shed for my suffering and comforted her, urging her not to grieve. Little did I realize that her sorrow was for Lu Peng's imprisonment. I never held him accountable for the incident, as I too regarded her as a victim. Subsequently, Lin Rui ventured into the entertainment industry, and I became her manager. I accompanied her on her ascent to greatness, only for her to publicly accuse me of harassment online when she achieved fame and success. I was unjustly labeled a manipulative perpetrator, and ultimately, I met a tragic end at the hands of one of her deranged fans, who stabbed me over 100 times and slit my throat. I never anticipated that my brief 30 years of life would be cut short due to a woman's actions. I am filled with rage and resentment, yet fortune smiled upon me, granting me a chance to start anew. In this life, I shall no longer meddle in your affairs. Lin Rui, face the consequences of those you have drawn into your life on your OW, and it is now 5 a.m., with 2.5 hours remaining before I must depart for school. Lin Rui lives next door. We are childhood friends, having grown up together as inseparable companions. Our parents share a close bond, and since elementary school, we have attended the same institution and been in the same class. I was entrusted by our families with the responsibility of safeguarding her. We always go to and from school together. Today, however, I cannot accompany her outside. Resolutely, I rose and entered the bathroom. In the chill of this December winter, I took a cold shower for an hour. By 6 o'clock, I could feel the warmth beginning to envelop me. At 7, my mother pushed open my bedroom door and called me to rise for breakfast and school, at which point I was already enduring a persistent fever. "Mom, can I skip school today?" I croaked, my voice hoarse. "Oh dear. How did you suddenly fall ill? Given your condition, who could bear to send you to school?" All right, I will call your teacher to excuse you. Come on, your father, and I will take you to the hospital now." Hearing my mother's words, my father, who was eating at the dining table, quickly finished his meal. He then lifted me up and carried me downstairs. Clutching my phone tightly, I felt a sense of relief wash over me as I saw that person had replied to my message, allowing me to drift into a deep sleep. "Son, wake up, your classmate has come to see you." When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying on a hospital bed, receiving in Fort Weisheng, whom I had summoned, stood at the door of the ward, visibly at a loss. "Hello, Auntie, I am Weisheng." Jiang Ting messaged me saying he was ill and asked me to bring his homework. After several years, I encountered this gentle and well-mannered girl once more, a pang of bittersweetness striking my heart. How wonderful it was that in this life, she had not been burdened by me. Good child, please come in. Auntie will peel some fruit for you. I truly appreciate your kindness. My mother warmly invited Wei Sheng inside. She hurriedly waved her hands in refusal, saying, "Thank you, Auntie, but I must return to school. Wei Shuang resides in the neighborhood adjacent to my own, thus our paths to school converge. To save time, we often take a shortcut through a narrow lane leading directly to our school. However, today Lin Rui will be ensnared by Xiao Peng and drawn into the nearby grove along that very path. In a previous life, Yi Shuang was the compassionate classmate who selflessly assisted me in reporting to the authorities. Simultaneously, she discreetly recorded a video to preserve evidence, for it would have been arduous to seek justice on that unmonitored trail. In the aftermath, Yi Shuang faced harsh retribution from Xiao Peng's clique and his grandmother. When I awakened from the intensive care unit, eager to express my gratitude, the academically gifted Yi Shuang had already been coerced into dropping out and relocated by her mother, severing our connection. Hence, I feigned illness not solely to evade Lin Rui and Xiao Peng, the ill-matched pair of willing participants in their tumultuous affair, but also to devise a reason to divert Yi Shuang from traversing that route today. Wei Shuang is an exceptionally gentle, kind-hearted girl, and I am certain that upon receiving my message, she will come to the hospital to assist me. At this moment, she could only take the main road from the hospital to school, unable to return to the neighborhood via the small path. How fortunate it is that throughout our lives, the two of us have managed to evade those scoundrels. After bidding farewell to Yi Shuang, I lay idly on the hospital bed, reminiscing about the significant events of my past life. If given another chance, I would seize the opportunity to ensure that those I love and who love me lead a prosperous life. My mother scrutinized me with a probing gaze. "Son, what is your relationship with that girl?" My mother, unable to contain her curiosity, could not refrain from asking. Throughout my first 18 years, I had only been close to one girl, Lin Rui. My youthful innocence and budding affections were evident to the adults around me. Both of our families were aware of the situation, including Lin Rui. However, she consistently rejected me, citing her studies as a priority. After my incident, I felt incapable of providing her happiness and ceased to bring it up. The mere thought of being by her side sufficed. I had accompanied her since my debut, offering my support silently. Little did I expect her to betray my genuine feelings. My mother was taken aback that during my illness, I did not call for Lin Rui but for another girl instead. "Mom, there is nothing between Lin Rui and me. Please do not speculate. She has someone she likes. I am indifferent to the affairs of the young. As long as you are happy, that is all that matters." The love parents have for their children is profound, selfless, and meticulous. This love is an innate instinct, seeking no reward, only the happiness of their offspring. In my previous life, I was unfilial. I recklessly disregarded my own safety for Lin Rui, resulting in my mother, still in her middle age, turning gray overnight after the incident. I was foolish, sacrificing everything for love, only to be met with betrayal and end up with nothing. After my demise, my consciousness lingered for a time, and I watched as my parents sought justice from Lin Rui, only to be ejected by security. Even in death, her fans continued to torment me, invading my home, defiling it, leaving my parents too fearful to step outside. My father, overwhelmed with rage, succumbed to a heart condition, and my mother, having lost both husband and son, lost her will to live, ultimately setting fire to our once warm home. In this new life, I am determined to provide my parents with the finest existence. Each morning, my father would drop me off at the hospital before heading to work. My mother, a homemaker, stayed by my side at the hospital, caring for me. At noon, she intended to visit the hospital cafeteria to fetch me something to eat. At that moment, she received a call from Lin Rui's parents, and upon answering, she was met with an irate voice from Lin's mother. The volume was such that, even without the speakerphone, I could hear every word clearly. "What is wrong with your son? Why isn't he attending school with Rui today? He claimed he would protect my daughter, yet he has allowed her to suffer such harm today." My mother was left utterly bewildered by the tirade. "Wait, that's not... What do you mean, Lin Rui's mother? My son has been bedridden with a high fever and is absent from school. What has happened to your daughter?" You must bring your son to the hospital immediately. Lin's mother furiously hung up the phone. My own mother, usually mild-mannered, was also incensed, unable to restrain her expletives. What kind of lunacy is this? Her daughter is in trouble, and what does that have to do with us? Hearing this, I realized that Lu Ping had indeed succeeded in winning Lin Rui's affections. Just as I finished my 4-drip, my mother and I headed to visit Lin Rui. In the obstetrics and gynecology department, Lin Rui was being examined, accompanied not only by her mother, but also by the police. The doctor emerged with the report in hand. This student has sustained minor tearing in her lower region, confirming that she indeed engaged in relations with another individual. The police officer gravely inquired, "Miss, were you coerced? If you inform us, we can hold the perpetrator accountable under criminal law." Lin and Appo's mother, weeping and pounding her thigh, exclaimed, "Which beast dared to harm my daughter? Speak up, and I shall seek justice on your behalf." Lin Rui stood there, disheveled and speechless. It was Jiang Ting. Reluctant to expose her lover, she nonetheless divulged my name under her mother's relentless questioning. "That little beast, I will see him imprisoned." My mother and I, positioned at the doorway, overheard their entire exchange. With a cold laugh, my mother pushed the door open and confronted Lin Rui. "Lin Rui, I once believed you to be a decent girl. How can you so readily slander my son?" "Auntie, Lin Rui's mother protectively pushed her behind her. "Your son has always had improper intentions towards my daughter. Who knows if he harbored ill thoughts towards her on the way to school? You are talking nonsense. My son has been running a high fever today, lying in the hospital since morning. If you don't believe me, check the surveillance footage." My mother displayed my medical records to the police. The officer perused them and spoke to Lin Rui. "This young lady, I understand you have been harmed, but please provide us with truthful information about the perpetrator." Lin Rui fell silent again, at which point a nearby aunt interjected. "It was definitely not this young man. I just saw a group of delinquents. This time, I was not alone, as Yi Shuang also appeared during that time frame." Lin Rui was dragged into the woods by Lu Ping, while his friends stood guard outside, eavesdropping on the commotion. It was only later that this aunt, passing by on her bicycle, helped her call the police. Lin Rui remained silent, tears glistening in her eyes as she looked at me. "Ridiculous. Why should I care? I have no sympathy for you." "Lin Rui, I do not understand the meaning behind your accusation against me, but I would dare to undergo a DNA test. Would you?" Lin Rui's mother was displeased by my words. "Even if you did not commit this act, you still must take responsibility for my daughter. If you hadn't abandoned her, letting her go to school alone, my daughter would never have been targeted by those thugs. My daughter is so well behaved. It must be you who provoked trouble, inciting those delinquents and dragging Rui into this mess." I retorted, "Aunt, your words are misguided. Who am I to Lin Rui? Does your family pay me to protect her? Firstly, we are merely ordinary neighbors. Secondly, there exists no employment relationship between us. Why should I bear this responsibility? It is not my duty to safeguard your daughter. As parents, if you are truly concerned for her safety, why do you not escort her to and from school? This is your dereliction of duty, moreover. Grievances have their roots and debts their owners, instead of seeking trouble with me. It would be more prudent for you to have your daughter reveal the identity of that ruffian." My mother, in a fit of anger, pulled me away. "This is utterly ridiculous. We treated their family as friends, yet they regard us as fools. Such individuals should not be associated with in the future." In the end, Lin Rui did not disclose Lu Peng's name, a testament to her deep affection. Lin Rui pulled her mother to a corner and whispered for a while, persuading her to refrain from calling the police. I understood her reasoning. Lin Rui is an art student, and we are now in our senior year. She is preparing for her upcoming art examinations. Any criminal dispute at this juncture could jeopardize her prospects. Furthermore, she could not bear the thought of Lu Ping facing imprisonment, for it is a matter of mutual consent. In my previous life, I believed Lu Ping was solely fixated on Lin Rui, as he frequently cornered her at school. He would swagger into our classroom, delivering milk tea to Lin Rui, and would warn every boy who approached her, asserting that Lin Rui was his woman. I too had been threatened by him and his minions on several occasions. His underlings would surround Lin Rui in the cafeteria, calling her sister-in-law. I presumed that Lin Rui felt nothing but fear and loathing for him. Little did I know, she had long harbored deep affection for Lu Ping. Lu Peng was notorious in our vicinity. His father had once been a well-known figure in the underworld, only to be executed during a crackdown on organized crime, leaving behind a fortune that was entirely confiscated. His mother ran off with a wealthy man, leaving him in the care of his grandmother. As the saying goes, dragons beget dragons, phoenixes beget phoenixes, a mouse's offspring can dig holes. Lu Peng inherited his father's undesirable traits. From middle school, he would ride a motorcycle, engaging in brawls with students from other schools. By high school, he had abandoned his studies entirely, spending his days skipping class to frequent internet cafes and nightclubs. The school contemplated expelling him, yet Lu Peng's grandmother would come to the school, weeping and causing a scene, leaving the administration powerless for fear of repercussions. I urged Lin Rui to inform the teachers and our parents of Lu Peng's antics. We could not allow a street thug to disrupt our crucial senior year. We both had bright futures ahead, while he seemed destined to rot in the gutters. However, Lin Rui disagreed with my perspective. Jiang Ting, I never expected you to think this way. Lu Peng is already pitiful enough. He has no father or mother, only his grandmother, one relative. What we should do is save him, not push him into a deeper abyss. Besides, he is not a mere thug, he is a school bully. He is formidable. With so many followers, he possesses the capability to thrive far better than someone like you, a bookworm. Reflecting on her words now, I genuinely admire her. Lin Rui regarded herself as the heroine of a redemptive narrative, and I was curious to see how her male counterpart would respond to her. From that day forth, the animosity between our families escalated, resulting in an irreconcilable feud between my household and Lin Rui's. Rather than feeling remorse for falsely accusing me, Lin Rui perceived my demeanor as confrontational. With her parents preoccupied by their demanding careers, they arranged for Lin Rui to reside at the school. Ironically, this arrangement proved more convenient for the clandestine escapades of the young couple. During evening study sessions, Lin Rui would stealthily slip away to rendezvous with Lu Peng. Although the school lacked a grove, it did possess restrooms and a gym equipment room, which Lu Peng showed Lin Rui, allowing her to explore every nook and cranny of the institution. Initially, Lin Rui was apprehensive about my potential discovery, yet as my indifference became apparent, her audacity grew unchecked. In truth, I observed everything while feigning ignorance. Your beloved Lu Peng would indeed surprise you immensely. As anticipated, 2 months later, during the art examination, Lin Rui fainted, and upon being hospitalized, it was revealed that she was with child. Lin Rui's mother rushed to the hospital upon receiving the news, nearly losing her sanity. Her daughter, whom she had cherished since childhood and invested heavily in her artistic education, was merely 18 and already pregnant. Lu Peng swaggered into the hospital carrying a bag of apples, arrogantly informing Lin Rui's mother, "Since Lin Rui is carrying my child, I shall take responsibility. I will provide for her and the baby." Lin Rui's mother seethed with barely contained rage, yet Lin Rui was profoundly touched, vowing to bear Lu Peng's child as a testament to their love. She believed that the warmth of a family and the child could redeem the wayward Lu Peng. "Mother, I love him. No one has ever treated me as kindly as he does. You have been strict with me since childhood. You don't truly love me, but merely wish to flaunt your exceptional daughter. Lu Peng, however, loves me for who I am. You meticulously control my diet, while he brings me my favorite milk tea after dance class. Moreover, he never hesitates to express his affection. He proudly proclaims to the world that I am the woman he loves." It is rather amusing. Despite their lack of integrity, Lin's parents genuinely dote on Lin Rui, fulfilling her every request since childhood. Yet, when they simply seek to ensure her quality of life, Lin Rui perceives it as manipulation. Conversely, Lu Peng's younger brother captivates her with just a few calls of sister-in-law. When Lin Rui's parents objected, Lu Peng sent his grandmother to the Lin household to create a scene. "Oh dear, you heartless people, are you trying to extinguish the Lu family's lineage? If my great-grandson is lost, I, an old woman, shall not live either. I will hang myself at your doorstep." Lin Rui insisted on bearing this child, even threatening her parents with suicide if they attempted to compel her to terminate the pregnancy. "Mother, I truly love him. Please allow me to bring this child into the world." Regardless of this year's art examination outcome, I can still retake the year and gain admission next year. Lin's parents aged overnight, their hair turning significantly gray. They once approached my family, hoping I could persuade Lin Rui. My parents chose to ignore them, deeming it too ominous, and unwilling to involve me. Ultimately, they could not withstand Lin Rui and Appo's determination and had no choice but to permit her to give birth to the child. Lu Ping, a petty thug riding a motorcycle, struggles to sustain himself, relying on his grandmother's meager welfare and extorting protection fees for survival. Lin Rui, pregnant and unable to support herself, depends on her family's assistance. Seizing this opportunity, Lu Ping moves in with his grandmother into the Lin family's home, asserting his dominance. In an effort to evade these peculiar individuals and avoid unnecessary trouble, my parents decide to relocate. As for how I am so well informed, I merely bribed one of Lu Peng's lackeys. I instructed the lackey to subtly inform Lu Peng that if Lin Rui were to gain admission to university and experience a broader world, she would undoubtedly leave him. Lu Peng, burdened by a dismal family background, cannot attract any girl's affection. Having finally won over the beautiful Lin Rui, he could never bear to let her slip away. Thus, he hastily ensures Lin Rui's pregnancy. Now, he finds himself with a wife without spending a dime, and even receives financial support from her family. Does Lu Peng genuinely love Lin Rui? It is implausible. He is enamored only with himself. To him, Lin Rui is merely a means to an end. Time swiftly passes, and I too participate in the college entrance examination. Through diligent effort and study since my rebirth, I finally catch up to Yi Shuang, the top student in our class. Both of us achieve scores exceeding 600, gaining admission to the provincial university and becoming alumni. Within the university grounds, I can finally pursue her. To make the most of my second chance at life, I choose to study computer science, as the rise of short video platforms is still years away, allowing me to seize this entrepreneurial opportunity. Though I cannot recall the lottery numbers, I do watch the World Cup. In the summer of this year, as I turned 18, the World Cup was fervently underway, held once every 4 years. I had the fortune of witnessing 3 editions before my past life's conclusion. Betting on football had become a lucrative endeavor for me, as I resided in a villa by the sea where the odds for underdog teams soared. Through astute wagering, I swiftly amassed a fortune, quietly transforming into a millionaire during the summer following my college entrance examinations. As university commenced, I and Yi Shuang embarked on the idyllic campus life we had long yearned for. Meanwhile, Lin Rui had recently given birth to a daughter. Lu Peng, once gentle towards her, had since adopted a harsh demeanor, berating her for bearing a financial burden. Just as Lin Rui was emerging from her confinement, she found herself pregnant once more, and Lu Peng, having already intruded into her life, would not permit her to continue her studies. He clung to the Lin family like a leech, voraciously draining their vitality. Throughout our 4 years in university, Yi Shuang and I developed profound affection for one another, and our union seemed a natural progression. She was a remarkable woman, and I vowed to bring her happiness. After graduation, we introduced each other to our families, and on my 22nd birthday, I took her to obtain our marriage certificate. Dear wife, I look forward to our journey together in the years to come. That summer following our graduation, I once again reaped bountiful rewards from the World Cup, using my earnings as capital to venture into the burgeoning realm of short video content. For years passed, and once more, the World Cup arrived. My company's short video app catapulted me into the ranks of the top 10 wealthiest individuals in the nation. At the age of 28, I found myself at a pivotal moment, unlike my past life. In this existence, I was whole, my marriage thrived with happiness, and I was blessed with a beautiful wife and an adorable child. Wealth nurtures the spirit, and love nourishes the heart. Yi Shuang is no longer the shy young girl she once was. She now radiates brilliance. Not only is she my beloved wife and my devoted partner, but she also serves as the COO of our conglomerate. Together, we have navigated numerous challenges, ultimately establishing a vast business empire. She is transformed into a confident and courageous woman of strength, showcasing an astonishing evolution and growth. My love for her grows ever deeper. At a recent business banquet, I unexpectedly encountered Lin Rui. She was adorned with alluring makeup, nestled against the ample figure of a wealthy businessman, so different from the rising star she once was in my past life. Over the years, I have paid her little mind, as she has merely been a stranger to me. I observed her delicately feeding her benefactor fruit, her eyes betraying a subtle hint of disdain. What a facade of false modesty! I remained silent and took my seat at the head of the table. "Mr. Jiang, you have arrived," someone greeted me. "You are truly difficult to pin down. I appreciate your presence this time. Among this gathering, I am the youngest yet hold the highest status." The portly man embracing Lin Rui nudged her towards me, saying, "Quickly, go toast Mr. Jiang." Lin Rui approached me slowly, her glass raised, but upon seeing my face, she froze in astonishment. "You are Jiang Ting," she exclaimed in surprise. I felt irritation bubbling within me and directed my gaze towards her benefactor. "Since you are here seeking my investment, you should understand my principles. I detest it when women are presented to me at the table. If you wish for investment, kindly present your project properly. Avoid any underhanded tactics." I disregarded those individuals and turned to leave. Lin Rui hurriedly followed me out, exclaiming, "Jiang Ting, wait for me." Tears streamed down her face as she confided in me about the hardships she had endured over the years. After giving birth to 3 daughters in succession, Lu Ping revealed his true nature, resorting to violence against her. She had borne 3 children in quick succession, often conceiving shortly after her confinement, leaving her health deteriorated and her once stunning beauty diminished. Lu Ping grew weary of her physique and began seeking companionship elsewhere. He abandoned his job to indulge in a life of idleness, lacking any financial means, and would resort to extorting money from Lin Rui's parents. If they refused, he would unleash his fury upon their daughter. Lin Rui's parents had spent a lifetime saving, only to be drained of their resources by Lu Peng, who eventually set his sights on selling the Lin family home. A quarrel ensued between Lin's father and Lu Peng, culminating in a tragic altercation that led to Lu Peng, inebriated and enraged, fatally wounding him with a knife. Lu Peng was sentenced to prison, marking yet another familiar decade of despair. With the loss of both her father and husband, Lin Rui recalled her dreams of stardom. However, lacking formal training, life had left her weary and worn. Major entertainment companies dismissed her, forcing her to sign with a third-rate agency that claimed to nurture talent, yet merely sought to recruit women for dubious purposes. "Jiang Ting, I once thought about coming to find you, but you had moved away," she lamented. I scoffed. "Why would you seek me out? I have no desire to be your safety net. I never anticipated that you would become a successful entrepreneur. I thought it was merely a coincidence of names." Lin Rui still failed to recognize her own identity. "Jiang Ting, I know you have feelings for me. Will you accept my promise to be together?" "Huh. No need for that. I already have a wife who is 1,000 times better than you. I have no interest in someone like you." "I don't mind. I can forego the title." "I do mind. By the way, what about your 3 children?" Lin Rui's expression turned somewhat unnatural. "My mother will take care of them." I looked at her with derision. "Lin Rui, you're neither a good daughter nor a good mother. You are merely a selfish fool." "Jiang Ting." She attempted to reach for me, but the arriving security swiftly pinned her to the ground. With a loud thud, it seemed she hit her head. I waved my hand dismissively. "Take her away, send her to the hospital, and don't use this as an opportunity to frame me." The next time I encountered Lin Rui was in the men's restroom of my company. She had disguised herself to blend in, and when I turned around and saw her, I was startled. "Are you insane? This is the men's restroom." Lin Rui glared at me with malevolence. "Jiang Ting, have you been reborn?" What an intriguing question. I gazed at Lin Rui. Her eyes were entirely different from when I last saw her at the banquet. I was certain she too had been reborn. "You have a cruel heart. Why do you want to harm me, Jiang Ting?" "Harm you? Isn't this just retribution for your own actions, Lin Rui? I didn't stop you from pursuing true love, nor did I send your Lu Ping to prison. Wasn't that your long-held desire?" Lin Rui fell silent for a moment, unbuttoning her collar in an attempt to seduce me, which I found utterly repulsive. Damn it. More repulsive than the male employees of my company who neglect to flush the toilet. "Jiang Ting, I shall grant you another opportunity, if you agree to marry me." I shall overlook the past and we can live harmoniously. Is your urine mat? Take a look at yourself when you relieve yourself. Can you not see clearly? I disdain such worthless trash as you. I find you filthy and fear the diseases you may carry. I summoned security with a mere phone call and had her ejected. Fool, get as far away as possible. Lin Rui was dragged away, exclaiming, Jiang Ting, you will pay for this. When my fervent fan from a previous life, who had once sought to end my existence, appeared in the underground parking of my company, I was unperturbed. Lin Rui had a knack for seducing men, and it was no surprise that this deranged psychopath was willing to assist her in murder. After all, Lin Rui thrived on redeeming the dregs of society. What was his name again? I could scarcely recall. It mattered little, for he was ultimately inconsequential. The blade of the man pressed against my waist, and Lin Rui emerged from behind him. She wore a triumphant expression, her lips curled in a smirk, her gaze brimming with arrogance and haughtiness, exuding self-satisfaction and presumption. Jiang Ting, did you ever think that I could kill you once and do so again? I offered you a chance, yet you spurned it. Give me 100 million and a ticket to leave the country, or I shall take your life. Fool, you have already taken my life once. Do you truly believe I would grant you a second opportunity? I had no intention of creating trouble for her. I had always remained a detached observer. However, now that she has been reborn, I cannot allow this potential threat to linger without avenging the grievances of my previous life. With a swift motion, I executed a deft maneuver, evading his blade and pinning the man to the ground. Sensing the turn of events, Lin Rui attempted to flee, but my concealed bodyguard apprehended her. She had ample evidence of her plots against me, and I resolved to send these two fools to prison. Lin Rui was sentenced to 8 years for hiring a hitman and extortion, while the man received a 6-year sentence for attempted murder. In a sense, I had rid society of a menace. I deliberately arranged for this fervent admirer to share a cell with Lu Ping, both of whom were Lin Rui's paramours. I imagined they would have plenty to discuss. Upon returning home, Yi Shuang was simmering chicken soup, awaiting my arrival. She took my coat and hung it up with care. Aware of the troubles Lin Rui had stirred, she placed her trust in me, never doubting the sincerity of my love for her. Daddy, come upstairs and play games with me and sister. My son called out as he peeked his head over the railing, having heard my return. After 6 years of marriage, Yi Shuang had blessed me with a son and a daughter, both of whom are obedient, charming, and excel academically. My parents had retired early and were currently enjoying a world tour with Yi Shuang's mother, living a life of freedom and joy far surpassing my own. With a happy family and the love of my life by my side, I find no regrets in this existence.